This week on Lemon's Car Spotting.
Hey, it's Lemon's Car Spotting with Nick and Eric. You guys know how this works. Let's go. Oh,
man.
I
will let you start. Yeah, you go with that.
Yes, this is a Rover P4, aka an Auntie Rover. Or wait a minute. Is it a P5? God, no, it's a P4. It's a later P4. It doesn't have the Cyclops grille of the earlier style. Boy, if it's a P5, I'm going to hear about in the comments, aren't I? Anywho, it was clearly like fully underground at some point, and then somebody's been conducting an archaeological dig over the last several years, slowly unraveling. You know, they thought like, oh man, it's gonna be a Ferrari 250, and then they realized, you know, as it turns out, it's a Rover.
Man, yeah. Think about the disappointment once you uncover the grill and you're like, boy, I have to cross-reference some stuff. I'll start with my Ferrari spotter's guide. And
yeah.
Oh, it's not in there. Huh.
What's weird is that it's not quite lining up.
Yeah, boy. It's curious that the inside of the car is also packed with dirt.
That's why I think it must have been just fully underneath the ground at some point. Oh man,
somebody buried it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an art installation. Hard to say.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I will say, for those who don't know, I am sort of by proxy a Rover P4 owner. My mother bought one in the 70s because she moved to California, had never seen such a thing before. It was on the street with the for sale sign. She's like, I gotta have it, which, you know, explains a lot about the way I am. And of course, it hasn't run in my lifetime. So if anybody out there wants to help me get the Rover, we still have it. It's complete. If anybody wants to lend a hand getting that baby on the road, let me know. I'm you know, I don't fill up my inbox though, you know.
Yeah. You can have too many people offering to help. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Man. Is that an Avalanche? What am I looking at here?
I believe you're correct.
There's a lot going on here. First of all, they have the cargo carrier from 1987 on the roof of it. Which is excellent. They have the cargo bed and I don't know what you call it, the cage. The cargo cage.
Extender.
And, you know, it's obviously been rattle bombed with, you know, bed liner or something, and it's being trickle charged or is possibly plugged into a lamppost at a White Castle. Man alive, that is a lot of things. And we aren't even getting to the fact that somebody's actually using it like a pickup truck for the first time in history. So, boy, there it is. I don't know what else you say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I have two just real quick comments. One, there used to be this local ad where it was like a hillbilly. It was some dealership. I think it must have been a Ford dealership, because the tagline for these ads was a picture of an Avalanche and the guy saying, "Don't you buy no ugly truck." And then it was like, get the F-150 instead. But the Avalanche was like literally the poster car for don't you buy no ugly truck.
Yeah.
And secondly, as a Californian, I was not aware of White Castle until I briefly studied at Indiana University in the 90s. And my buddy, who was from Indianapolis, I was like, well, like, he's like, oh, we got to go White Castle. I was like, the hell's a White Castle? And he's like, oh, you know, they got little ass hamburgers that give you the runs. It's like, all right, let's go.
Well, when you pitch it like that, I mean, yeah. By the way, not to be mistaken with the sibling Cadillac EXT, the Escalade.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The luxury version.
Right.
All right. We're into a Cimarron adjacent. What do we got here? What's it called? It's the Buick version of the Cimarron. Is that a Skyhawk? What is that called?
Yep.
Boy. So classic J body. Am I right?
Yep, that's
see, I'm learning things from our resident Midwestern Eric
That's right.
and from Dan, White Castle expert. So J body, of course, Cavalier, Cimarron, Skyhawk, Forenza, was that the Oldsmobile?
Yep.
Their compact car, not good, made in large quantities, can be made into a good Lemons car, although very small sample size, because Anton, famous Lemons legend, built the greatest racing Cavalier of all time. And that's what made us realize, like, hey, that thing, it can work as a Lemons car. Maybe it was just Anton that made it work, and it's not actually a universal solution.
Could be, yeah. I'm looking up that restaurant because I think I might have eaten there. If it's the one that's in New Jersey, NJMP.
Interesting.
No, it's not.
Your classic, chrome 50s retro diner that was made in 1994.
Right. Yeah, there is absolutely one of those that Aaron Cole and Jeff Stobbs and I ate at just down the road from New Jersey Motorsports Park. They, it's big and shiny and had a big sign. And we walked in, and the menu was literally 9 pages long.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic.
Nobody's ever ordered. Yeah.
I would love to know. I mean, I both would love and not love to know what the operation is like for a place that's got a 9-page menu, and then there's the thing on page 6 that nobody's ever ordered, and then you order it and they bring it to you. So the ingredients for that anyway, you can see the problem. Yeah. And I've always been curious about that.
You don't want to actually know the answer to that. But that said, seeing a brown 80 whatever Skyhawk parked at a place like that is, that's perfect.
It's, for all of you non-Americans, our fans, our many, many fans overseas, when you think about the American dream,
that's it right there.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Fozzie Bear goes to Home Depot.
Yeah. Chevy bed.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's a bullet nose Studebaker, whatever year that is, 1950 or whatever. 50, updated with the custom pickup bed. I will say that actual Studebaker trucks are cool in their own right, but this is not cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything. Bullet nose Studebaker is such a weird design that shouldn't work, but it somehow kind of does. Plus, it's kind of bugging me that the rear wheels stick out and/or there aren't fenders to cover them, because that kind of ruins the overall styling. But the big wide moon hubcaps, steel wheels with moon hubcaps, it all ties in really nicely. This is pretty neat.
Yeah. Not the greatest execution in the world, but not awful. Really good chance to make a step side out of the bed there that would almost line up. But I do love the bullet nose Studebaker, and it's one of the cars we really want to see in Lemons, even if it's like this. And the great thing about old cars like this, body on frame cars, is that you can kind of, with some massaging play, some Legos, and put this clip with that, and kind of works. Or you could take a Studebaker body and with some consultation with John Pagel, put it on a Crown Vic chassis. That'd probably be a good thing.
That would be the smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Which is really, all of this is relative, when the smart option is to put a 1950 Studebaker on atop a Crown Vic for a road race. But I'd agree with that.
Moving on.
Next up.
Yeah. Now we're talking. One of the great nameplates in American car making history, the Ford Aspire, because you can't aspire to anything less. Of course, famously based on the Mazda 121 and also some kind of Kia. I'm not sure which one was which. Sub compact, the follow-up to the Festiva. This one, boy, I think it's been dropped onto some chassis. I doubt that is the actual suspension. I think it's just body draped over a Samurai maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it. Looks like it's got Ranger headlights, so that was my first thought. But there's no way that the wheelbase. I mean, they could have cut it, obviously, but there's no way that the Ranger matches the Aspire in such a way, because it doesn't look like the body is really modified that much for length. Right. So, yeah, something like a Samurai is maybe more likely.
Yeah. Fantastically done. This looks like a Gambler 500 car, which is kind of the off-road analog to, I guess, the Lemons Rally. They do a lot of different stuff from us. It's not a one-for-one thing, but we really like a lot of the builds because they are like this. It is, is Lemons grade engineering, not quite fitting.
It's like Lemons grade engineering, but with an off-road tilt to it, which is great. We think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last car for the week. Oh, Lightning McQueen-ish.
Yeah.
Is it a Paseo?
I think that's a Paseo, my friend.
I think it's a Paseo. We were just talking. We had a long. Well, I mean, first of all, it's a Paseo with the most ridiculous wing you ever seen,
right?
And then I don't know what 47 signifies. I mean, that's like, I mean, it's got the graphics look kind of professional. Like, this is a relative or a crew member of somebody who runs that number, like at the local dirt track.
Right.
And it's, extra stickers came from that. Either that or he got them custom made for his B-winged Paseo, one of the two. But we were just talking about the Paseo and how it's a Tercel Sport is what it is. Little coupe version with total Tercel underpinnings, drivetrain, all that. So, which is to say, it's not fast. It'll run forever. We've seen a few in Lemons, and they do. I mean, they do exactly that in Lemons. They're not fast, and they usually finish the race. Class C all day.
Yep.
So, Paseo. That's sort of. It's kind of a dead, like little economical sport coupes.
Yep.
You had Civic Coupe, obviously, even things like the Probe and MX-6, like big in the 80s and 90s. Like that segment is just kind of gone now. Like they just sort of stopped selling. I mean, I guess it was like the young single person car then. And now, I don't know, do young single people just drive F-150s like everybody else, I suppose, these days?
Yeah, nobody even makes a two-door subcompact anymore. Everything has four doors. This would be like a Mirage coupe, basically, is kind of
which they also made.
Yeah, right. But the little boxy ones now, it just doesn't exist. There's no Chevy Spark, GT or whatever. The Paseo, the NX, Pulsar.
Yeah.
What else was there?
God, there were a lot. And those are just the real little ones.
Don't forget the Geo Storm, or
that's right, and Isuzu Impulse, of course. Excellent. We like a Paseo. Bring one. I've got the hooptiest, I think. When you're charging up your car and you're hungry, and you're going to be charging for a while, and you can hang around just in case there's an unfortunate consequence to eating 37 tiny hamburgers. I'm going back. Oh, man, I should have picked the Rover. But the Rover is a classic. This is hoopty.
Yep.
I mean, it's filled with stuff. It's got – I like the storage box. I mean, that's got sort of a, you could Instagram. You could be on Overlander Instagram with this thing. It's a hoopty pastiche, as we've seen before. Can't say any more.
Yep. I think they're living that drifter lifestyle is what I think is happening there.
Could be.
Or they're scrapping. It's 50-50, right. I think. Good stuff. I've got the Lemons build, and as I said, always want to see a 50 Studebaker. We haven't had an Aspire yet in the Lemons, though I don't think that one in particular is really what we're looking for. But how can you go wrong in Lemons with a Rover P4? Especially if it's got this backstory. We are not that we're ever going to question how much you paid for a janky Rover P4, but we like a good backstory to come with the car. Like we traded it for sewage pumping. This is kind of out of the car was free, but we had to dig it out of somebody's front yard, to the nth degree. It's that story.
Yeah, 100%. And racing Rover P4s, believe it or not, is not unprecedented in England. It's hella unprecedented in America.
Yeah.
But they use them. They've got banger racing there. They're used for that. You'll see them occasionally at Goodwood in that weird race that's got like the humongous Jaguar and the Ford Galaxies and stuff. It would just be a proper 50s saloon racing car, which we don't see enough anywhere in the States. And to see one on a Lemons track after being excavated from the dirt pile would be amazing.
Yep. Can't disagree with any of those statements. So that's going to do it for this episode of Lemons Car Spotting. We will see you guys next Thursday.
We didn't mention the guy's 90s Saracen mountain bike, which he pointed out in the caption. Clearly very proud of it. I think it's neat.
It's a quality bike.
Yeah.